Hi everyone, this is Peter Warman of Newzoo. I'm in the Amsterdam office of Newzoo, standing in front of my collection of consoles here that I'm very proud of, but I'll come back to that later. It's a time of year that I get ready for my holidays, and it's also the time of year that we just launched our Global Games Market Report. So I'm reflecting on what happened the past 12 months in the business and from a consumer perspective, but also what I foresee happening in the future. So I wanted to share some of those thoughts and insights with you. If you look back at the history of games, the fact that this is now a $150 billion business entertaining almost 3 billion people, it's interesting to look back. It's gone in big steps of I think approximately every 5 years there's a big step innovation that has brought new levels of engagement to gaming. Because gaming is always not after money initially, but after more engagement, and then money follows. And if you go all the way back to the first year of Newzoo, when the iPhone was launched and mobile started to play a role, before that, 5 years before that, the PC was used as a gaming platform, and the internet was added to that, and that doubled the time spent on gaming. Mobile, 5 years later, doubled the time spent on gaming, and then 5 years later, in 2012. The free-to-play business model started to really catch on across all platforms, allowing more people to play and spend more time. So that was a big step innovation. And then 5 years later, say 2017, eSports and streaming was the thing, grabbing even more engagement time. So what's next? What's in 2022? And I think I'm part of that, because I think now the degree of freedom to grow engagement, to double that again, is about lengthening the lifetime of gamers, is getting me as a middle-aged man spending as much time as I did when I was young. And actually I see that happening. I watch a lot of eSports, I watch my kids streaming and everything. So I think a lot is about the future, is about lengthening the lifetime of a gamer. I find that an interesting thought. Looking back at the last 12 months, so we're proud that we're now a bigger business than sports. That's attracted a lot of attention in sports, of course. You can see that in our client base as well. But really in games itself, there's a couple of things which I found pretty remarkable. First of all, the US is back on top as the biggest market, fueled by the success of console. Console being the fastest growing segment globally is something that I didn't imagine 10 years ago. But it's a sign of the combination of streaming and viewing and gaming that has hit the West, that relatively late also was adopted by consoles. And the second thing on the back of that, of course, is China has shifted their focus a lot from gaming itself, people behind the screen, to getting them to go offline. And even the government now is supporting eSports in a huge way, and there's about 10 cities going after being the eSports capital of the world, or at least of China. The number of sponsors in eSports is growing faster in China than it is in the West. So I find that very interesting, as time shifts in China a little bit from gaming to the viewing and live entertainment experience of people being together. Staying in Asia, Japan is completely back in the spotlights, with Nintendo successfully launching the Switch, and now a cheaper version that will reach even more people. And on the back of that, we see all Japanese publishers looking outside a lot more than they used to. I think we'll see a lot of the retro games and old IP return to the spotlights, and I think that's very exciting. And yeah, that's what you can see here, can't you? All of this will be coming your way in a bigger fashion, I think, soon. And we often talk about the software part of things, but hardware has been the talk of the town as well. The Battle Royale genre added more than $1 billion in revenues for headsets and mice and all kinds of peripherals alone. And we see a lot of consumer electronics makers that were not in gaming now focusing on games. So I think the whole hardware space is going to continue to grow and be an integral part of this whole experience of being a gamer or being a game fan or enthusiast. Looking forward towards the future, what I've experienced in my I have many contacts with press and investors, and I think the time has passed where there were a lot of prejudices towards gamers. It seems that the mass audience and everybody respects gamers now and knows that almost everyone plays games. So that's a very good thing. And on the back of that, it makes it easier for big brands to get involved. And what we see with brands step from just looking at the trends of esports, but wanting to track game IP all the time in all the countries that they're active, it shows that they're serious about this form of entertainment and embracing it in a broader way than only looking at esports. And I think that's exciting going forward, and we see a lot of more brand and game IP integrations in esports and outside of esports as well. And how to grab more time of the gamers. And one of the things that games companies are trying and other companies is mixing up communication and games. So there's Fortnite that I think has the ambition to be the starting point to meet up with your friends, enjoy entertainment and chat. So there's games that have that angle. But then there's the communication platforms like Facebook Messenger and of course the Chinese WeChat and other platforms that are integrating gaming in a seamless way. Sort of part of the cloud gaming trend, I guess, which also should lower even more the threshold of people starting to play games. All in all, I'm ready for my holidays, and I'm very much looking forward to all the innovation that will come our way in the coming 12 months. Meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy some of my old games. Bye-bye.